welcome back to the program. Unfortunately, my last video got taken down by YouTube, and in it, I talked about the 60-minute interview on CBS of Kamala Harris, in which CBS edited the video in a deceptive way to try to make Kamala Harris look better than what she actually sounded like. And of course, in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about it here in the beginning and want to see the reactions on Twitter of people considering, the deceptive nature of the editing by CBS. But today, the main news is Tim Walz at a fundraiser in California vowing to end the Electoral College. And of course, today he got asked about that, and he sort of backtracked in a way. And we're going to look at this too, of course. It is still Donald Trump leading this election. According to Polymarket 2024 election forecast, Donald Trump leading 53.6%. Kamala Harris 45.7%. So compared to a week ago, we've seen a major move here in favor of Donald Trump. Of course, the CBS interview of Kamala Harris, took like 4 points out of her in favor of Donald Trump. Terrible interview. And now this week she's been on a media blitz going in front of the cameras, but it doesn't look like it's paying out for her. Let's have a little bit of a look here. So we can see that over the last day, Kamala is still up 1.8%, meaning that yesterday Donald Trump was leading by more than 55%. And we can see here the evolution of the forecast here. And yesterday, as you can see, it was topping up at Trump 55 against Harris 44. And in the swing states, it seems Trump is leading them, except maybe Nevada, where it's 51-49. Same in Wisconsin, meaning all these states are still in play, perhaps except for Arizona, Georgia, and even Pennsylvania. Now, 55% in favor of Trump. Seems that it would be pretty hard for Harris to make up this gap, but Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin still in play here. Popular vote, of course, in favor of Kamala Harris, 71%. And when we're going to look at the comments from Tim Walz, maybe it's going to explain why Walz wants to end the Electoral College. A few other trending markets here. Interesting one here. Trump to get more black voters in 2024, 80%. So it's almost a guarantee that Trump will do better with black voters at this election. And it seems to be a worry here for the Democrats. Yesterday, Barack Obama sort of giving a lecture to black voters, telling them that they have to vote for Kamala Harris. And here in the balance of power, so-called, we seeing 77% odds for the Republican to take the Senate. But more interesting than this is the House, 55% Democrat. This used to be in the very likely zone for the Democrats just maybe a month ago or something like that. And they had something like 70% odds of taking the House. But as we get closer to this election, now we're back in the toss-up range, meaning that even the House is in play now, which wasn't the case a few weeks ago. And if you can see here, 39% chance of a Republican sweep, meaning they would get the presidency, the Senate, and the House, versus 18% Democratic sweep. So, this is becoming very unlikely that we'll see a Democratic sweep. Most likely the Republicans will get the Senate. And it's becoming increasingly more likely that we could see the Republican get absolutely everything in this race. But now that we've looked at the numbers, let's have a quick look here at what I was talking about in the introduction of this video, the 60-minute interview with Kamala Harris. And here, let's have a look at the edited answer and the deceptive editing of 60 minutes. So if you watched that 60-minute interview, or if you had the chance to see my video before YouTube took it down, well, this is the answer that you saw from Kamala Harris. Let's have a listen.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that...
So in this one, you see Kamala Harris very firm, giving you an answer straight to the point. We're not going to end until we get an end to this war. But actually, the true answer that she gave, and which was released in a preview the day before, and then when they aired the actual episode, they had already edited it because the reaction online to the preview was pretty bad. And that was the answer that Kamala gave in that preview.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that...
So that answer absolutely meant nothing at all. You know, she's just saying, trying to basically not answer the question. And really, she's trying to find her words. She doesn't know what to say, but it doesn't sound intelligent at all. And of course, the next day when they aired the show, they had already changed this answer. And so, you know, you can sort of hear the answer that she gave in the actual episode. It's the answer to like another question, or, you know, we don't even know how this was edited. And we're going to see, you know, in very soon, basically people are demanding a transcript of the interview, which CBS is not going to give, of course, because they're trying to protect Kamala Harris. But, you know, the bottom line here is that CBS tried to make Kamala Harris look good, and it didn't work at all. And as a matter of fact, it backfired on them, both on Kamala Harris and on 60 Minutes. And really, you know, when I look at this, you know, I cannot help but think, you know, CBS is really thinking that the American public are a bunch of idiots. Like, they release a clip on whatever it was on Friday, and they, you know, you get this first answer, and everybody online is like, that makes no sense. What is she talking about? And the next day they release the episode, and then it's a totally different answer, edited with a different answer, and they're pretending that, oh, we didn't change anything. And of course, it didn't go well at all. So let's have a look here. Today, Fox News reporting, former President Trump takes aim at CBS over the ongoing controversy involving the 60-minute editing comments made by Kamala Harris in this primetime election special, with a picture here. Trump called for CBS to lose its broadcasting license in wake of unprecedented scandal at 60 Minutes. Well, of course, it's very unlikely that they will lose their license, but of course, Trump probably trying to make noise to raise attention on this topic. Here, the New York Post is reporting ex-CBS staffers call for outside probe of 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris mid-editing scandal. And, let's have a look here at this article of the New York Post. And let's read a little bit. Former CBS News staffer are demanding an independent investigation into 60 Minutes over the brewing Kamala Harris interview scandal, even as the network digs in its heels and refuses to release the full unedited transcript. And now, why would they refuse to release the transcript if they were not to protect Kamala Harris? There is absolutely no reason at all. And, basically, they talk a little bit about, these ex-CBS journalists demanding an independent investigation, which is never going to happen, of course. And one interesting thing here, they talk about how they are demanding this guy, Al Ortiz, to do this investigation. And they go a little bit about the, in the past, CBS has done investigations into the journalists and interviews that were conducted by some of the journalists. And they mention here in this slide, in 2013, the network investigated a 60-minute segment by correspondent Lara Logan, who's now famous on Twitter, about a terror attack on the U.S. compound in Benghazi that left Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans dead. So back in 2013, when you had the Benghazi scandal, which hurt Hillary Clinton, then CBS made an investigation on Lara Logan for reporting what turned out to be the truth. But, because it was, a problem for Hillary Clinton and it was hurting her, then CBS had no problem doing a full investigation and releasing transcripts and all of that to try to essentially destroy Lara Logan's reporting. Let's see what else they say. And basically, this time you're not going to get that. It's not going to happen because, of course, all of this is politicized and CBS is extremely politicized. And, so when you see that Donald Trump is refusing to do 60 Minutes and, the Democrats are attacking, saying, oh, how dare he not do 60 Minutes? Well, when you see that they're completely biased and they're not an impartial news organization, then, of course, it sort of, tells you why he would refuse to do CBS anyway. That is about these staffers asking for an investigation that's never going to happen. No way in hell. And yesterday we had Kamala Harris continuing her media tour, trying to, appeal to minorities. And this time she was on Univision trying to convince Latino voters to vote for her. And we had some more memorable moments here. Let's have a listen at Kamala Harris here answering this woman,
but it's
talking
hard to
about
maintain that ambition
the price of groceries.
When conditions are so hard, so challenging.
Yes. Mi pregunta es entonces.
So my question is as follows. What are you going to do to help the middle class so that the cost of living does not destroy us?
Thank you for the question and your point. Listen, I know prices are too high still. You know prices are too high still. And we have to deal with it. Here's how I feel about it. Again, you've heard my story. I come from the working class. I'm never going to forget where I come from.
She comes from the working class. But, just a few weeks ago, she was telling us that she came from the middle class. Now she comes from the working class. And, of course, none of that is true. Her father was a economic professor at Stanford University. That doesn't sound very working class to me. And the funny thing here, you can see her, clutching of pearls, or pearl, so to speak, which is actually a necklace. And I wanted to point that out because, from that answer, I'm never going to forget where I come from. Pay attention here to this necklace, a very nice necklace, gold necklace. And let's have a look at this necklace here on Tiffany's website. Very nice necklace here, retailed for $62,000. That doesn't sound very working class to me, but anyway, let's move on. And the next controversy about this Univision interview was that this was supposed to be an unscripted panel town hall with people who were asking questions that Kamala Harris supposedly didn't know. And of course, they cannot get it right. They sort of trying to engineer all those media appearances for Kamala Harris, but they always fail, and they sort of tell on themselves all the time. And so here, Benny Johnson, noticing that Univision actually left the prompter on when they switched to the reverse angle here of Kamala Harris, and they tried to conceal it by taking the prompter off while the camera was sort of panning around Kamala. But of course, it was too late. It had already aired. Let's have a look at this
here. Are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? The only question I ever ask is, are you okay? And sadly, we have seen over the last 2 weeks since Hurricane Helene,
and it turns out,
are you a Republican?
And of course, if you're the director in that scenario, you're probably in the control booth screaming, "Turn off this prompter, it's on the air." And of course, by the time they did it, it was too late already. But now let's move on to our next story. And of course, it is Tim Walz says the Electoral College needs to go. And, another problem here from Tim Walz. What do they say here? Governor Tim Walz made a new push for putting the Electoral College in favor of a national popular vote, as Democrats are again worried of a scenario in which Vice President Kamala Harris wins the popular vote but fails to secure the presidency. And as we've seen in polling market, this seems increasingly likely. I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. All of us, meaning the Democrats, not Americans, obviously. And, we're going to see when he backtracks on this, that is, he's talking to Democrats. Of course, when he says that, Walz said at a campaign fundraiser with Gavin Newsom on Tuesday afternoon, according to the pool reporters in the room, we need a national popular vote. That is something, but that's not the world we'll live in, and it's definitely not the world he lives in anymore. Let's see now Michael Strahan here on ABC, and he's going to ask Tim Walz about that, and the answer is just laughable.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday. You said, I think all of us know the Electoral College needs to go. But the campaign came out later that night, and they said that's not their stance.
Yeah. Well, it's not the campaign's position. And the point I'm trying to make is that there's folks that feel every vote must count in every state. Mm-hmm. And I think some of folks feel that's not the case. Our campaign does that. And the point I'm saying is I'm in 5 states in 2 days. We're out there making the case that the campaign's position is clear, that that's not their position. Their position and my position is to make sure that everybody understands their vote, no matter what state they're in, matters.
So that's something that you and Vice President Harris disagree on?
I have spoken about it in the past, that she's been very clear on this, and the campaign, and my position is the campaign's position.
I want to go back to something you said on Tuesday. You said, I think all of us...
So that made absolutely no sense at all. He's saying, my position is my position, the campaign position is the campaign position, and my position is the campaign position, but my position is not the campaign position. Basically, it makes no sense. He's trying to backtrack the statement, but what he really means, if you want me to decipher this for you, is that, well, it's not viable for the campaign to say we want to abolish the Electoral College, because if he said that openly, then no one would vote for him. So they have to pretend we're not going to abolish the Electoral College, and then we get a chance to get into office. And if we get into office, and if God forbids, there is a Democratic sweep, then we will move on and remove the Electoral College. That's really what he means. And of course, it did not go well. And when he, now he's trying to make some word salad like Kamala Harris to try to backtrack that. And really, what he's trying to do is to obfuscate his real position. He's trying to lie to the American people, like he lied many times, like he lied about his service, like he lied about being in Tiananmen Square. This guy is a serial liar, and we've covered him on the channel. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to lie to the American people to prevent them from understanding what his real position is vis-a-vis the Electoral College. because he wants to get elected. But if he gets elected, then his true position, which is wanting to abolish the Electoral College, then he will enact policy upon that. So, you're talking about people who are just, not truthful about their wishes and their political ideals and ideas. And here we have Charlie Kirk talking about that. Tim Walz calls for eliminating the Electoral College while fundraising with Gavin Newsom. And he says the Electoral College needs to go. Added to the list to packing the Supreme Court, adding Puerto Rico and DC as states, shredding the freedom of speech, destroying the Second Amendment, and eliminating the benefits of U.S. citizenship, abolishing the Senate filibuster. And of course, he is right. You have on one side, you have people who are pointing the finger at the other side saying, this guy is a threat to democracy. But at the same time, the people who are saying that are now, wanting to abolish the Electoral College, want to get rid of the First Amendment. They want to get rid of the Second Amendment. They want to pack the Supreme Court, if not simply get rid of it and replace it with a committee. They want to end the filibuster in the Senate, and they also want to add Senate seats for DC and Puerto Rico because they know it would just give them 4 extra seats in the Senate. And you really have to think about this in real terms. If these people are pointing the finger at the other side saying they are a threat to democracy, but they themselves absolutely do not respect the Constitution. They do not respect, truly democracy as we do it in the United States. Well, then ask yourself the question, who is truly the threat to democracy as we know it today? And if these people were to have, a democratic sweep and get, all the levers of power in this country, and if they were to enact the ideas that they have, then would the country still be the same? Would the political system, will the political institutions that we have today, would they remain if that was to be the case? Ask yourself the question. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Just a few weeks are left now in this election period. We're going to see if there's going to be some more interviews maybe for Kamala Harris as she tries to sort of turn the tables at the last moment and try to bridge that gap that is now appearing in polling and prediction markets, showing Trump with a lead that is sort of increasing by the day. Perhaps the Democrats will try to send her in front of the cameras again to change this tendency. But as of this week, with all the media appearances that she's done, it seems the more she gets in front of the public, the worse it is for her. So perhaps we're going to see a reversal of this strategy for the Democrats, and they're going to go back to the Biden strategy, hiding the candidate and then having proxies, surrogates go in front of the camera and do the work for her. We will see if that's the strategy that they opt for and whether or not it works for them. But thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and I will see you on the next one.
Hit me with that like, and sub to the channel. Hit me with that like, and click the effing bell. Click that bit, alright. The algo recommends, for she gon' like. The algo knows you well. Hit me with that like, subscribe to the channel. Hit me with that like, and click the effing bell.